The moment you realize your deepest desires aren't truly your own, the reality you take for granted begins to crack. 99% of people living on this planet will spend their entire lives without ever questioning if their consciousness actually belongs to them. You believe you freely chose to watch this video today, but what if every thought, every ambition, and every desperate chase for status was pre-programmed into your mind long before you were born? We have been conditioned to believe that the Matrix is a sci-fi machine, an advanced AI, or an alien supercomputer operating somewhere in deep space. But the truth is far more terrifying. The Matrix is not outside of us. It exists within us. We built it ourselves. And by the time this video ends, the illusion you call your life will never look the same again. For decades, scientists, modern philosophers, and mainstream sci-fi movies have fed us the exact same narrative. We are living in a computer simulation engineered by hyper-advanced beings from another dimension. But this popular theory is missing the most critical piece of the puzzle. It keeps your mind trapped at the level of superficial thought, preventing you from ever discovering true freedom. When you dive into ancient spiritual texts, the modern concept of reality gets completely shattered. The beliefs you have carried since childhood collapse in a single silent moment. Those ancient texts reveal that this vast, unfathomable illusion, what ancient sages called Maya, was not built by aliens, advanced algorithms, or a distant god sitting on a throne. The truth is far simpler and infinitely more unsettling. You created it. Yes, you. Imagine a solitary consciousness, floating in absolute nothingness. To experience form, emotion, challenge, and love, this single cosmic entity designed a grand cosmic game. It created an entire universe as a giant play, dividing itself into billions of unique vehicles, human bodies, animals, stars, and galaxies. But the game was so masterfully designed, the drama so intensely immersive, that the creator became completely lost inside its own story. It forgot its true identity. The God you spend your life searching for outside is the very awareness reading these words right now. If you are the ultimate designer of this reality, how does the system keep you from waking up too early? How does the game ensure you stay locked inside the avatar? The answer lies in the illusion of free will and the invisible web of human desire. The very things we spend our entire lives chasing, money, physical pleasure, social validation, and ultimate comfort, are actually the most sophisticated anchor points of the trap. Notice how the mind operates. Every time you achieve a goal, the Matrix grants you a brief hit of dopamine, quickly followed by an underlying sense of dissatisfaction. It forces you to set the next goal, chase the next high, and run toward the next horizon. You are caught on a psychological treadmill that never stops moving. You believe you have free will because you can choose what to buy, where to work, or who to love. But you never stop to ask who planted the desire to choose those specific things in the first place. Your choices are dictated by your programming, your environment, and your biological drives. The Matrix doesn't control you with iron chains. It controls you by making you fall in love with your own cage. Now think deeply about this. From an engineering perspective, if you were a master architect stepping into your own virtual reality game with complete memory loss, wouldn't you leave behind a few fail-safes? Wouldn't you hide secret trigger points inside the system so you could eventually find your way back out? Of course you would. Every brilliant designer builds an emergency exit before entering their own creation. According to ancient wisdom, you placed exactly 2 wake-up triggers inside this human experience: extreme suffering and ultimate abundance. The first trigger is suffering. Have you ever noticed that when life is going smoothly, you never question existence? In moments of luxury, celebration, and constant distraction, the mind stays completely asleep. Suffering is the violent shockwave that breaks the hypnosis. It was extreme suffering that forced Siddhartha Gautama to confront the brutal realities of sickness, aging, and death, shattering his illusion and transforming him into the Buddha. Suffering is the alarm clock you programmed into the game to wake yourself up when you've been dreaming for too long. But the second trigger is even more fascinating because it works in the exact opposite way: ultimate abundance. Consider this thought experiment. Imagine you suddenly possessed all the wealth in the world, every luxury home, every pleasure, every power, and every dream instantly fulfilled. There is nothing left for you to earn, prove, or chase. What happens to your mind when the chase finally ends? A strange, quiet emptiness begins to creep in, a profound restlessness that money cannot fix. When all external desires are satisfied, the mind is forced to turn inward and ask the ultimate question: is this all there is? This is precisely why Buddha's father failed to keep him trapped. His father surrounded him with extreme opulence, divine music, and the most beautiful palaces in the kingdom. But because Buddha received everything an ordinary human could ever dream of, he realized earlier than anyone else that material fulfillment was a dead end. This brings us to a major contradiction. You might ask, if absolute wealth is a trigger for awakening, why aren't all modern billionaires enlightened? Why are the world's richest people still obsessed with acquiring more power? Having vast amounts of money and realizing that desire itself is an illusion are two completely different things. Without spiritual insight, a wealthy person simply upgrades their distractions. Instead of chasing a basic car, they chase space rockets, islands, and immortal legacy. They remain trapped in the loop because they believe the next purchase will finally bring them peace. Fortunately, nature did not make awakening dependent on bank accounts. You do not need to become a billionaire to realize that desire is a trick of the mind. There is an incredible biological shortcut built directly into human consciousness, an ability given equally to the king, the beggar, the rich, and the poor. That shortcut is lucid dreaming. Inside a lucid dream, your awareness wakes up while your physical body remains asleep. In that state, you become the conscious deity of your own private universe. With a single thought, you can build glowing golden cities, fly through distant solar systems, or instantly experience any physical pleasure imaginable. When a person learns to master lucid dreaming and experiences total fulfillment inside their own mind, a massive shift occurs in their waking life. The subconscious mind realizes that all worldly experiences, whether in a dream or in waking reality, are made of the exact same substance, pure mental projection. The obsessive grip of physical desire begins to loosen. You realize you are chasing shadows in a world you created yourself. We are living as though things are real that do not truly exist at all. The universe is not a cold, indifferent place made of dead rock and empty space. It is a living, breathing cosmic mirror reflecting your own awareness back to you. The exit from the matrix does not require you to escape into the clouds or hide in a cave. It simply requires you to see the game for what it is. The moment you shift your perspective from being a powerless player inside the story to recognizing yourself as the eternal author of the script, the illusion loses its power over you. The cage doors have been open the entire time. You were simply waiting for yourself to notice. If this journey into the architecture of reality shifted your perspective today, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel right now.